patient, and love. Leave them the fuck alone. If they are nice to you, don't cook up some fucked up reason to be mean to them, because what's going to happen is all heaven and earth is coming for you. Does that make sense? And they don't have to do anything. That is for someone who's actually watching this video going, oh, whatever. Okay, that person that you are messing with, I promise you, you need to leave them alone. They are highly protected. They are highly protected. They are highly gifted. And the fact that they're highly gifted and needed makes them twice as much protected. Leave them the fuck alone. Do you understand? You understand? You understand? You understand? You understand?
They called you an earth angel, didn't they? Whispered it with their trembling voices. Painted you in pastels.
Do you understand? You understand? You understand?
Convinced themselves you were made of mercy and patience and endless second chances. They saw your kindness and mistook it for weakness.
Do you understand? You
saw your compassion and thought it was permission. Saw your light and never once considered that light can burn, that light can blind, that light comes from a source so powerful it could turn their entire reality to ash if you ever decided to stop dimming yourself for their comfort. They looked at you and saw a soul too gentle for earth, a heart too open for survival, and they smiled their fake smiles because they thought they could use you, drain you, take and take and take, until there was nothing left but the hollow shell of someone who once believed in people. But here's what they missed. Here's what their small minds couldn't process. Angels aren't soft. Angels are soldiers, warriors wrapped in light, beings who stood at the gates of creation and said, "Try me," who carried swords made of truth and shields forged from every betrayal they refused to let define them. You weren't weak, you were patient. There's a difference they'll never understand. Patience isn't passivity, it's controlled power. It's the tiger lying still in tall grass. It's the storm gathering strength before it unleashes. It's you watching them reveal themselves, one lie at a time, one manipulation at a time, one betrayal at a time, and you said nothing. You smiled, you nodded. You let them think they were winning while you were stuck learning, documenting every single move they made, every pattern they repeated, every mask they wore. They thought your silence meant surrender, but it was strategy. They thought your kindness meant you were naive, but you were just giving them enough rope to hang themselves with. And now they're standing in the aftermath wondering what the actual hell just happened. How did the angel turn into their reckoning? How did the gentle soul become the force that shattered their entire world without lifting a finger, without raising a voice, without breaking a single rule? Let me tell you what really happened here. Let me paint the picture. They're too terrified to look at directly. You walked into their lives radiating something they'd never encountered before. Genuine care, real empathy, the kind of love that doesn't demand anything in return. And they couldn't compute it. Their broken circuits couldn't process why someone would give without agenda, care without calculation, love without keeping score. So they did what parasites always do when they find a host. They latched on. They tested your boundaries. They pushed and pushed to see how much you'd tolerate, how far they could go before you snapped. And you beautiful fool, you kept giving, kept believing that maybe, just maybe, they'd wake up and choose better, choose kindness, choose truth. But they didn't. They took your grace and called it gullibility, took your trust and weaponized it against you, took everything you offered freely and convinced themselves they deserved it, earned it, owned it. And then something shifted. Something inside you cracked. Not broke, cracked. The way light cracks through darkness. The way truth cracks through lies. The way a warrior cracks through the chains they've been wearing voluntarily for far too long. You didn't explode. You didn't rage. You didn't give them the dramatic exit they could use as proof that you were always the unstable one, the emotional one, the problem. No, you did something far more terrifying. You went quiet. You withdrew your light. You stopped participating in their circuit. Stopped explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Stopped offering your heart to those who only saw it as a target. And that silence, that absence of your energy, it created a vacuum so powerful it sucked the air out of every room you used to occupy, every conversation you used to mediate, every crisis you used to solve, every drama you used to do. Suddenly, they were left with each other, with their own mess, with their own lies, and they realized something that will haunt them forever. You weren't the problem. You were the solution they never deserved. The glue holding their broken world together. The light making their darkness tolerable. They called you an earth angel because they needed to believe you were fragile. Needed to convince themselves that kindness equals softness. That compassion equals compliance. That love equals leverage. But angels, real angels, they're not cherubs on greeting cards. They're not cute little beings strumming harps in clouds. They're forces of nature, beings who carry the weight of truth and justice and mercy, balanced on the edge of a blade that could cut through dimensions if wielded with intention. You were never their savior. You were their test. The mirror they had to look into, the standard they had to measure themselves against. And they failed. Spectacularly, publicly, permanently. They thought they were studying you, analyzing your patterns, figuring out how to manipulate your kindness, but the whole time you were the one observing, the one taking notes, the one building a case file in your mind labeled evidence of who not to become. Every time they lied to you, you learned what dishonesty looks like wearing a smile. Every time they betrayed you, you learned what loyalty actually means. Every time they tried to dim your light, you learned that some people are so committed to darkness, they'll burn anything bright just to feel less ashamed of their own shadows. Now here's where it gets interesting. Here's where the script flips so hard it breaks the spine of their entire narrative. You didn't just leave. You didn't just walk away. You evolved. You transformed from the person who gave everything to the person who gives nothing, to those who proved they'll waste it, from the soul who believed everyone deserves third chances, to the warrior who understands that some people need to be loved from a distance measured in light years. They're sitting in their little circles now, their group chats, their gossip sessions, trying to make sense of what happened. They changed. They whisper. They're not the same person anymore. They complain. They got cold. They lie. Because cold would imply you're numb, frozen, shut down. But you're not cold. You're clear. You're focused. You're a laser beam of intentional energy that no longer scatters itself trying to warm people who chose to stay in winter. You didn't get mean. You got boundaries. You didn't get bitter. You got selective. You didn't lose your light. You just stopped leaving it on for people who only visited your life to steal electricity. And now they're panicking because they finally understand what they lost. Not just your presence, but your protection. Not just your kindness, but your capacity to see the best in them, even when they were showing you their worst. Not just your forgiveness, but your ability to hold space for their growth, while they were actively shrinking themselves and trying to shrink you, too. They took inventory of their lives without you in it, and realized how much darker it got, how much heavier it felt, how much harder everything became when the person carrying half the weight disappeared, and they want to blame you for that, want to paint you as the villain in their story, the one who abandoned them, the one who
Do you
gave
understand?
up.
Do you understand? Do you
But
understand?
deep down, they know the truth, even if they'll never admit it out loud. You didn't give up on them. They gave up on themselves.
Do you understand? Do you
By
understand?
choosing to abuse the one person who actually gave a damn about their well-being. They had an angel in their corner and they treated it like a servant. They had a warrior watching their back and they stabbed yours. They had someone who would walk through fire for them and they complained about the smoke. Let's talk about that heart of yours, that absurd, ridiculous, beautiful heart that kept beating even when they tried to stop it, that kept hoping even when hope seemed insane, that kept loving even when love felt like self-destruction. They studied that heart like it was a science project, poked it, prodded it, ran experiments to see how much pain it could hold before it burst, how many lies it could absorb before it hardened, how many betrayals it could survive before it became just like theirs, cold, calculated, closed. But here's what broke their minds completely. Your heart didn't harden, it sharpened. It learned to cut through lies, to slice through manipulation, to pierce the veil of every fake intention, every false promise, every performed apology. Your good heart didn't become a bad heart. It became a wise heart. And wisdom in the hands of someone who knows how it feels to be used is the most dangerous thing in the world to people who survive by using others. They're asking each other now, how did they do it? How did someone so kind become so untouchable? How did someone so forgiving become so unforgiving? How did the angel become the thing we fear most? And the answer is simple, but they'll never accept it. Because accepting it means taking responsibility. You became what they forced you to become. You evolved into the version of yourself that could survive them. And survival meant learning to protect your energy like it's a limited resource because it is. Meant learning to guard your heart like it's a sacred temple. Because it is. Meant learning to say no without explanation. To walk away without closure. To let people misunderstand you without correcting their narrative. Because your peace is more important than their perception. They broke something in you that needed to break. The part that believed everyone deserves unlimited chances. The part that thought suffering in silence was noble. The part that convinced you their healing was your responsibility. And when that broke, when that false belief system shattered, what emerged was something they had no framework to understand. A person who loves deeply but from a distance, that protects their sanity. A soul who cares immensely but refuses to drown trying to save people, who won't even reach for the life raft. Here's the part that's keeping them up at night. You didn't just survive their treatment, you used it as fuel. You took every ounce of pain they inflicted and converted it into clarity. Every betrayal became a lesson. Every lie became a detector they can never bypass again. Every moment of disrespect became a standard they'll never meet in this lifetime or the next. You didn't just heal from what they did, you evolved because of it. And that evolution is what's haunting them, because it means their cruelty didn't break you, it built you. Their hate didn't destroy you. It defined what you'll never tolerate again. Their manipulation didn't confuse you forever. It taught you to read people like open books written in a language only the wounded can understand. They wanted to break the angel. They ended up creating a warrior who knows exactly how angels fall and refuses to repeat that story. They watch you now from whatever distance you've placed between your life and their circus, and they see something that makes their hands shake. You're thriving, you're glowing, you're building a life so
Do you understand? Do you
makes their
understand? Do you
existence
understand?
look like the hollow performance it always was. And they can't stand it because you were supposed to crumble, supposed to beg for them back,
Do you understand? Do you
supposed to
understand?
prove they were right about you being weak. But instead you proved something that terrifies people who survive by keeping others small.
Alone. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand?
Isn't weakness, it's power under control. You proved that forgiveness isn't permission to keep hurting. It's freedom from carrying their weight. You proved that angels aren't fragile beings who break under pressure. They're warriors who've seen hell and chose love anyway. Not because they're naive, but because they know hate is easy and they refuse to be basic. You walked through their fire and didn't become ash. You became steel. And now they're the ones burning with regret, with shame they'll never voice, with the knowledge that they had something rare and destroyed it because they couldn't recognize treasure when it was healing their wounds for free. Let me tell you what happens next, because this is where the story gets cosmic. You don't need revenge. You don't need them to apologize. You don't need closure from people who can't even spell accountability without autocorrect. What happens next is you keep rising, keep building, keep creating a life so aligned with your truth that their names become dust in your memory. Barely worth a thought, definitely not worth energy. You become the legend they tell at parties. I knew them once, they'll say, voice full of false familiarity, trying to claim proximity to your life now that it's illuminating stages they'll never reach. We were close, they'll lie, rewriting history, because the truth is, they were close to someone they didn't appreciate until that someone became too far to reach. You're not their cautionary tale. You're their missed opportunity, their biggest regret. The one that got away not because you ran, but because you finally realized you were chasing people who were running from themselves. And here's the final piece they'll never understand. You didn't change. You just stopped pretending. Stopped performing a version of yourself small enough to fit in their limited perception. Stopped apologizing for being too much when the real problem was they were too little, too scared, too committed to mediocrity to handle someone who refused to settle for anything less than authentic connection. The angel they saw was real, but they only saw one dimension. They saw the light but ignored the fire, saw the mercy but missed the strength, saw the kindness but never recognized the warrior heart beating beneath it. You were always both, always the contradiction they couldn't solve, the paradox that broke their limited understanding of what powerful looks like. You loved like an angel and fought like a warrior, and that combination, that beautiful, terrifying combination, is what makes you unstoppable now. They called you an earth angel, and they were right, but angels aren't gentle. They're gentle until they're not. They're patient until patience becomes complicity. They're forgiving until forgiveness becomes self-betrayal. And when an angel stops being gentle, when an angel picks up the sword they've been hiding behind their back this whole time, when an angel looks at you with eyes that have seen your soul and found it wanting, that's when you learn what holiness really means. It means whole, complete, lacking nothing, needing no one, powerful enough to love and powerful enough to walk away, strong enough to care and strong enough to stop caring when care becomes quicksand. You're not their angel anymore. You're your own warrior. And warriors don't fight every battle. They choose which ones are worth the energy, and they decided long ago that people committed to misunderstanding.
Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand?
People allergic to growth aren't worth watering. People threatened by light aren't worth dimming for. So here you are.
Do you understand? Do you understand?
Standing in the aftermath of their failed experiment, their botched attempt to break the unbreakable. And they're scattered around
alone.
Like debris.
Do you understand? Do you understand?
Still trying to process what happened. Still searching for explanations that make them the victims in this story. But there are no explanations that will satisfy them because the truth is too simple and too devastating. You were good, genuinely good, and they were broken, genuinely broken. And instead of letting your good rub off on them, they tried to make you as broken as they were. And when that didn't work, when you refused to rot alongside them, They learned what happens when you push an angel too far. You don't get a demon. You get something worse. You get someone who sees through you completely, who understands exactly who you are and what you're capable of, and chooses to remove you from their life without anger, without drama, without giving you the satisfaction of a reaction. Just removal. Just distance. Just the eternal silence of someone who's done talking to people who never learned to listen. Your good heart didn't break their evil mind. Your good heart revealed their evil minds, held up a mirror so clear they couldn't deny their reflection anymore, showed them exactly who they were when they thought no one was keeping score. And that reflection, that undeniable truth of their own actions, that's what shattered them, not you, never you. You were just being yourself, being honest, being real. And that realness was too much for people living in lies. Your truth was kryptonite to their fiction. Your light was exposure to their shadow. Your growth was proof of their stagnation. And they couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle watching someone they tried to destroy become someone they could never be. Someone free. Someone whole. Someone who learned that the only approval you need is your own. The only validation that matters comes from within. The only person who needs to believe in you is the one staring back from the mirror. They'll spend years trying to understand what happened, years analyzing the moment you stopped being theirs to manipulate, years wondering if they could have done something different, said something else, been someone better. And the answer is yes. Yes, they could have. They could have chosen truth over comfort, growth over stagnation, real love over convenient transaction, but they didn't. They chose themselves in the most selfish way possible. Chose their ego over your heart. Chose their pride over your peace. Chose temporary satisfaction over lasting connection. And now they get to live with that choice. Get to watch from the sidelines while you build an empire from the ashes of who you used to be. While you create beauty from the ruins they left behind. While you love again, trust again, open again, but this time with wisdom earned from every scar they gave you. This time with boundaries built from every line they crossed. This time with standards set by everyone who failed to meet them. You were their earth angel, their chance at redemption, their glimpse of what real love looks like, and they treated you like a stepping stone, a placeholder, a temporary fix for a permanent problem. And now you're gone, not dead, not broken, not bitter, just gone. Existing in a dimension they can't reach, thriving in a space they can't access, living a life they're not invited to. And that's the justice you never asked for but absolutely deserved. Not punishment, just natural consequence. Not revenge, just removal. Not hate, just indifference. The kind of indifference that comes from someone who finally understands that some people are lessons, not blessings. That some chapters need to end without resolution. That some people will never be ready for the love you have to give.
Alone. Do you understand? 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 Alone. Do you understand? 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 Do you understand?